And now you can record, or you can also stream.
Okay.
Welcome to another exciting show about money. It's absolutely my favorite topic, and that's why I named it Money Talk. Today, I have an incredible guest joining me today. You know, in Money Talk, I like to talk about how your business can be monetized, or how your product or your service monetizes so that other people can benefit from it. And today we are going to be talking to none other than Janki Patel. And she is the president and ambassador of Global Solutions, which is an ISA and VA company. So stay tuned, because we are going to be talking about how to make money with your VA and get out of the whack-a-mole business. All right, stay tuned.
Linda gave me the courage, the confidence to move forward.
And after I was finished with Linda Kaye's training, I was at the next level.
It's Linda Kaye. When you trust that piece of you that says, I got something to give, I have something to say, you know you've got something to do.
Get on your feet, shake your hands in the air. Welcome to the stage, Linda Kaye.
Well, here we are. And today, as I promised,
Linda gave me the courage.
What we're going to do, well, you know, it's all about, you know, having the right people helping you do the things that you need to do so you can make money and stay focused on the things that you're really good at. So joining me today is none other than Janki Patel. And Janki, please join me as we talk to everybody about how we can monetize what we're doing and how to get the best and the most out of how we are going to. And I, for some reason, can't seem to get you to come live. So let's just do this for a second. I don't know why it's not allowing me to do that.
Oh, there it is. There I am.
Now we're added to the stream. Voila. Like I said, you know, when you're really not good at something, you should hire somebody. And what a lead in is this, Janki?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for welcoming me, Linda. I really, really appreciate you, because
You're so welcome.
I think a lot of people don't understand the meaning of really leverage, whether it's in our business or any other local businesses or any other business for that matter. And I think everyone should understand that if you want to grow your business, if you want to go from what level 1 to level 2 to 3 to 4, you can't do it all. You do need someone's help. Eventually, you will need someone to help you. Wouldn't you agree, Linda?
You bring up a really, really good point, Janki, because as we all know, we can't be everything to everybody, but many people are not ready to commit to a full-time employee. It takes time, it takes money, it takes, you know, and it takes a lot of things that you need to have to do, like know your own business and know what it is that you don't like to do so you can hire other people to do it, right?
Exactly. I agree with you. I always, when a realtor comes to me or any other business owner comes to me, the first question I ask is, what are the tasks that you don't want to do? What is it that you want to have someone else do that you've been doing for so many years, and now you're ready to let it go, right? Now you are ready to focus on the big picture instead of focusing on the admin tasks, instead of focusing on day-to-day tasks. What is it that you want to do in your business so you can leverage yourself going forward? I think it is so important to understand that, Linda.
You know, I think that that's the hardest thing for people to do, Janki, because I suffer with the same thing, and the consequences are always the same. As you saw, when I started this broadcast today, I'm like pushing buttons on my keyboards that my sleeve caught, and that wouldn't happen when I assign that task. Even though I'm enjoying this process,
Right.
I really like the idea that I don't have to focus on something else. I could just stay focused on you and be thinking about how that impacts my audience or how that impacts. Now, one of the hardest things to do is to give up something, because we as business owners think we're the only one that knows how to do this. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely. And that is a misconception. I did not learn that until I was 14, 15 years in this business. I thought I need to do everything, right? From
it's exhausting to do everything and to know everybody and to know everything. That is exhausting.
And that's going to drain you. That is going to mentally and physically drain you. So that's why it is so important to hire leverage. That's why it's important to leverage your business. That's why it's important to focus on the big picture of when do you want to get there and how soon do you want to get there? When do you want to get there? And I always say one other thing, Linda, if not you, then who, right? If not you, then who? Who's going to do those tasks? And you really need to focus in on your task list. Number one, as a realtor or any other business owner, first focus on your task list. Right? Focus on what you want to give away to someone. Focus on what you do not want to handle and you want to let someone else do. That is called leveraging. And once you do that, trust me, life will look so good that you're literally going to say, okay, what other business can I open up next? That's my position right now.
And that's an important thing. Now, hang on a second, Janki, because there are some myths. Okay. When I think about hiring somebody, I've hired people that are here. I've hired people that are offshore. I have had good experiences. I've had bad experiences. I've worked with agencies and then not agencies, and direct and indirect. And at the end of the day, as you just pointed out, what things don't you want to do? I think one of the most important things that a business owner can do is really begin to understand how their business operates. Because when you understand what has to be done, it's a whole lot easier to put it into an SOP, a standard operating procedure, so that it's consistent and it's consistent across whatever VA you actually hire. What are some of the myths about your business, Janki?
So let me tell you, we're very different in Global Solutions here. And the way we are different is an Ascent virtual assistant companies. There are two companies we own. They're virtual assistant companies. And the way we're different is, as a realtor, I saw the challenges, right? And those challenges, in fact, I would hire VAs and assistants from other companies, and they were not completely trained. I was lost. I had to train them. I had to put my time in. Showing your systems is one thing. Training them on the material is another thing. And that's what I was told, is they're trained in what they do best. That was not the case. As a realtor, I want to make sure that I hire someone that knows what they're doing, right? At least knows the fundamental concept, whether it's a database manager, an ISA, an admin, an executive admin, a social media manager, digital editor, whatever the position you're looking for, you need to make sure that they're good at it. What we do differently, Linda, here is we put them through a vigorous course before you can even hire them. So we have an academy. It's called
Wait a minute. Wait, just go back. You just lightly touched on, thought you were just going to gloss right over it, didn't you? Having somebody trained already in what you do. Now,
Yes.
As many of you know, I am a commercial real estate broker. I have done real estate transactions for the last 20 years. And some things never change. But in social media, the whole world has exploded. I mean, if you weren't one of the 15 million people in the last 24 hours that joined Threads, you're behind, right?
Yes.
And so who and how do you get this training if you don't go to somebody that already knows how to do this? Do we need to learn everything? No, we got to be good at what we do and let other people be good at what they do.
Absolutely, Linda. And let me tell you what it is that we train on. We don't just train on fundamentals. We train on what we are successful at. As a realtor, what am I successful at? Our database managers are very much trained in certain things that get responses, highest responses, such as smart plans, newsletters, email drip campaigns. I don't do auto postings, Linda, right? Auto in our business is a no-go because we are in the people business. We're in the real estate business. If you are in the landscaping business, you're still in the people business. If you are in, the doctor business, if you're a doctor and own a practice, you're still in the people business. It's called building relationships, Linda, right?
So what was this term that you just used, Janki, so we don't lose our audience? What was that auto thing that you were talking about? What does it do?
So those are smart plans, drip campaigns, things that we want to auto send to our clients, right? You
Sure.
cannot just auto send. You've got to personalize it. It has to be Linda Kaye's voice in there. It has to be my voice in there. It has to be your voice. What are you trying to tell your audience? What are you trying to give your audience, right? It always comes down to really focusing on what is important to your audience, not you. It's not about you. It's about your
Oh,
audience.
isn't that the truth? And how many salespeople, how many business owners, how many entrepreneurs think, well, I'm just going to start a new business and I'm just going to do it like this without ever thinking about what does their audience need? Who is their
Exactly.
audience? What problem are they solving? And when you are just focused and laser focused on your client and your ideal client and letting some of this other activity go, the biggest fear, I think, Janki, is will they know what my voice is? Will they understand who I am if I let somebody else do this part of the business? What do you say about that?
That's a great question, Linda, because we always teach our virtual assistants to get to know your realtor. I just had a very big team meeting yesterday with our ISAs, which are inside sales agents, cold callers. And you know what, Linda? I sat down with them and I said, you need to get to know your realtor. Same thing with our social media managers. So what do they do to get to know you? Our social media managers look at your branding. They create a branding kit for you. What does our ISAs do? They get to learn to talk to you and get to know the market from you. While they're learning from you about the market, because they don't know the market, you got to educate them a little bit of your marketplace, right? So that's what I teach my ISAs. My database managers need to go in and know, who is Linda? What does Linda sell? And how much of that has she sold? And talk to Linda about, I want to hear your voice, Linda. Talk to me. What does it sound like?
How many of your clients, when you first get your clients, before they understand how important branding is, from a color to a sound to a specificity in what they do, how many of them come to you without any knowledge of what that looks like to them?
99% of them.
So I'm in the 1%. I love it.
Yeah, 99%. So 99%.
That is a shocking. Wait a minute. That is a shocking statistic. I am shocked. I am shocked.
Even when we talk about database managers, Linda, people don't know what that is. People don't realize that someone can control your database. Someone can leverage that piece of your business. People don't know that. Digital editors.
Wait a minute. Aren't most people don't most people think that this is their database?
That's what they think.
Right? That's what they think, right? Or that this could be, a good representation of their data because it's just a spreadsheet, right?
Right.
But the spreadsheets don't make phone calls to people.
No.
And even though you may have a phone call here and maybe you've got something already set up on your calendar or something like that, having somebody actually curate content that now is customized to your voice, to your brand, to your colors, to your territory. And Janki, it isn't just real estate. I mean, look, I have 5 other businesses of my own besides real estate. And I think about what it looks like and what my market looks like, but moreover, what the needs of my market are.
Exactly. Right.
And in real estate, everybody kind of gets this misconception that, one size fits all, everything's the same, it's a house, and, anything can happen, right?
Right. And that is such a misconception.
How wrong is that, Janki? How wrong is that opinion?
It is so wrong to think one size fits all because it's not true. It really isn't. Everybody's needs are different. I just got an email from a realtor. He's going to the Bahamas and he says, Janki, I need a social media manager, but I don't know what the heck I want them to do. Right? We hear this all the time. Then I have a person that says, I know exactly what I want them to do. I have a content calendar. I want them to follow this newsletter. I want them to focus on these, and these cities, right? So it depends. And we're here to educate you. And this is, I'm writing, actually, Linda, I'm writing a book about this, right? Why is it important to choose the right virtual assistant for you? And why is it important for you to connect with your virtual assistant at least once a week? Don't just set them and
Oh my
forget.
God, once a week? I can't imagine, not every day.
Right. And I am constantly with my talking to my team constantly because, I'm not in the business as much. I don't want to be in the business. I want to work on my business. So what does that look like? When I say working on my business, I want to talk about.
Say that again, Janki. That is worth repeating.
So I don't want to work in my business. What in my business means is doing admin tasks, doing social media postings, doing, writing a content calendar, doing a video, editing a video, or, working on my CRM, sending out those drip campaigns or newsletters. I don't want to do that. My job is
me
to
neither.
right. And my job is to be with my clients out there. My job is to focus on realtors like you of how I can help, or even business owners out there, how I can help them grow their businesses. That is my job. That gives me fulfillment, right?
It absolutely does.
Yeah. And now I need to play because I need to run my businesses. So I need to replace that. If not me, then who? Right.
Well, Janki, I mean, if your business can't run without you, then you have a job.
Exactly.
And so I don't want a job. I want a career. I want a lot of things about my business to make it run by itself.
Exactly.
Now, talk to me, Janki. I know a lot of people, including myself, okay, because when I say I have gone through a number of VAs, I've been doing the VA business for a couple of years. So I've got some knowledge and some experience under my belt. I've had up to 4 VAs working for me at any given time. And it's always the most frustrating to me to start over when one VA leaves. And it's the virtual world. So there is no misconception that you can be ghosted or that you can. And this is why I've come back to an agency, Janki, because this is so important. You understand the value that what I'm building is important. Consistency and continuity is even more important, because if it drops, how much havoc does that create for the business owner and the entrepreneur?
Right. I mean, you will get completely lost at that point, Linda. Let me tell you, I've done that before where the continuity has stopped, the follow-ups have stopped, and I have been completely lost. So what does that do for your business? It tanks your business, right? So you have to focus on, why is it important to go to a company like Global Solutions, go to a company like Ascent Virtual Assistant Companies. Just Google us, Global Solutions, we're right there, and Ascent Virtual Assistant, we're right there as well. You got to remember, your business grows to the amount you let it grow, right? Your business grows to the amount that you want, you let it grow. And what I mean by that is that, you have to fill out that missing persons report. You really need to focus on, who am I missing?
The missing persons report. That's actually, I'm going to use that. I love that. I absolutely love it.
So it's missing persons report, and you need to focus on what that looks like. Who is that person I'm going to be missing, and what are the tasks I want to assign to them? And I think I'm going to talk about in my book, Linda, for sure.
What is the name of your book?
There's some creative names that I'm going to go over with you and with a couple of my really close friends. Leverage your business. Leverage your business with the right virtual team. You need a virtual assistant. What's next? I mean, there's so many business names I'm coming up with, but again, I'm going to brainstorm it with so many of you guys, and then come up with some good name. But again, the focus is teaching business owners like you. Okay, I have a virtual assistant. Now what?
Right. What is next?
What is
and how best to do this? How best to utilize them? Now, this is my next question. Can we overutilize a VA?
Overutilize how?
Let me get more specific.
Yes.
oh, you did such a good job on that. Now I'm going to assign this, and it has nothing to do with what I just hired you for. But because you're doing such a great job over here, I really want to expand you, and and pretty soon the VA is now not just working 15 hours, not 20 hours, they're working 40 hours. And for us Americans here in the US, we love to work 60 and 80 hours if you're a workaholic, right? And
Exactly.
so we burn through VAs. How best should we be working with a virtual assistant if we have a virtual assistant so we can keep them longer and keep that continuity?
I love this question, Linda, because I think we discussed this before too. You never want to mix virtual assistant positions. What I mean by that is that if you've hired someone to do social media manager, focus on social media and graphic designing. Do not give them editing work because they're going to be overwhelmed and they're going to lose traction of what is most important to you. I say,
Wait a minute, aren't they one and the same skill set?
no, not at all. Not at all. And I'll tell you why, Linda, because a digital editor edits your videos. A graphic designer and a social media manager focuses on getting you on those social platforms to increase your engagements, to increase your name out there, to increase who you are, to increase, comments, likes, put in some good posts out there, create graphic designs for you, your flyers
Build your
for you,
audience.
that sort. Yeah.
Right? Build your audience and have visibility.
Exactly.
So when you're working with a social media manager, talk to me about expectations. Could you expect as an individual when you've got a social media manager to be able to cover all the platforms from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook to LinkedIn to YouTube to Threads?
Absolutely. That is their job. Now, think about this. You're adding digital editing to it. Don't you think it's going to be too much for them, right? You want them to focus.
Well, not if they're working 120 hours a week, Janki.
Which will drain them completely, Linda. And that's what we don't want to do. The goal is to give them a break too, so they can be refreshed, energized, and back to work for you, and keeping that positive energy going. Remember, guys, they're humans. So we want to make it to where they are also positive. Because when you get positive people and you get positive energy in your business, guess what happens? Your business grows.
It's very infectious. That's right.
Right.
It's infectious. People
Exactly.
see it, people read it, people love it.
Yeah.
And then they start commenting on things, which is really exciting. I mean, to me, that's really exciting. I didn't see the benefit of that until I started seeing my audience grow, and my audience started sharing my content, because that's what people do when you've got really good content. People want to share it, right?
Exactly. And now a digital editor, you need to give them that time, that space to where they can edit the videos. They need a calm space to make sure they're making the right cuts in the video that you share with them. Because if they interrupt and abruptly cut something, it's not going to be a good reel or a good shorts or a good video out there. It's just going to be a mess. And so that's why you don't want to engage the two in one position. Another thing.
Well, you know what's interesting, Janki, is I just started working with an application called Captions for Video. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Where I can take my phone and I can record 10, 15 seconds, and then, go move to another place and do another 15 seconds. And pretty soon I've got like a 1-minute video, and then I can add captions to it. And it just,
Right.
There'll be jump cuts on it and stuff like that. As we get better as individuals with the little applications and the big applications, the simple applications that we have at our disposal, as we get better, what is the expectation so we can manage those expectations for our editors?
So that's a great question. So the way to manage is give them a couple of videos and let them know, hey, the expiration or the due dates. Look, we in our world should be working with due dates, right? To give videos and say, hey, I expect you to finish this by tomorrow, or I expect you to finish this by Wednesday. Set expectations. That's one thing you've got to know how to do, is set expectations with your virtual assistant, right? Don't be rude about it. Be nice about it and say, hey, listen, I expect you to finish these 3 videos by Wednesday, and then let's discuss it. Let's have a meeting about it, right? The more you give, whether it's advice to them or whether it's, leveraging them better, guess what? They're going to work even harder and smarter for you. They're going to learn what they can on
And
their
they
own.
love what they're doing because it's getting
Right.
results too.
Exactly. And they are a breed of people that love giving you results. Now, our ISAs are, inside sales agents who make those cold calls, whether commercial real estate, whether it's a studio, whether it's a
Doctor, a
laundromat,
dentist,
a
yeah.
dentist, whatever it is, when they get those phone appointments set for you, how excited are they? I talked to my ISA team yesterday, and they were, I always say always give your audience something and watch what happens. Because when you come from contribution and you give information, advice, anything, they will resonate with that because you're
Oh,
giving,
that's so true. That
right?
is, and that goes for any business, Janki.
Any business.
When you're giving, for me, if you have if you have the heart of a giver, your business multiplies over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that is so important, Linda. It's very important to come from contribution. This is what I teach all my VAs across both my companies is give and then watch what happens, right? I learned this very early on from my mentor, my friend, Tristan Almada, and he's amazing at what he does. But, he was the one who taught me that. I was very nervous about giving because I'm like, oh my God, someone will take my material, because that was for a DBM position, database manager. Now, a database manager is not only good for realtors, it's good for any business, right? It's good for any business. By the way, our website is globalsolutionsca.com, Linda.
Okay, let me get that corrected, and I'll put that back up, and let's keep talking.
Yes.
So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
No worries.
You brought up a good point about, what we come to expect as an employee and employer. We also like to measure things. And so in the measurement perspective, many of us, those that are experienced will typically have, here's what I need you to do as the VA, and these are the things that I want you to do, and this is how much time I'll allocate for it. Because business owners want to monetize this. Business owners want to know, how long did it take, and did I get, not necessarily get my money's worth, it's getting a result, and did I save time? Because sometimes saving time for me is more important than saving money. Not that I will throw caution to the wind and say I'm going to throw any kind of money at it, but we tend to measure in KPIs or key performance indicators. Talk to me about how you are different.
We at Global Solutions are very different in making sure that we get results. Now, how do we do that? How do we keep engagement in making sure that we're getting results, right? So with our ISAs, we always have a back end to where they're discussing with us how many appointments they've made. It's something called an accomplishment report that they submit every single day, and then an expectation report in the morning that they submit to their realtor or to their business owner. The way to measure these goals is to see and actually have a KPI report, or there's another one that is just very new, which we are sharing with our realtors. That is, how to measure where your certain group has gone, whether it's a Facebook, whichever social media platform. How do you measure how your success has been trending upwards after you've hired that VA? And there's some chart indicators that we share.
That's really important. I think that if you can just expound on that for just a moment. You say that you're integrating that and that's available. Many people don't understand the value of that, don't understand, because they're so focused on, oh my God, I've got to get on this social media platform. I've got to do this. I'm very busy creating videos, and I've got a life to have, a life to run, and I've got two other businesses to run. So talk to our audience about how that impacts them and why that's so important.
I'll give you my example. I was completely drained and run down where I physically had to stop and, get my health in check because I was burnt out and I was continuously running after the businesses, right? And I realized my health.
And you know what? That's almost as bad as running after money, because money can run faster.
Exactly. Right. When you run after money, what happens, Linda?
Well,
It
money
runs,
runs faster.
it runs faster. It runs away. So never chase money. You always want to focus on results. And that's what I teach my virtual assistants is focus on the results that you're achieving today. And if you don't see results, I want you to make noise right away, right? Let the business owner know, okay, what we're doing, this strategy is not really working. How about we do this strategy? Now, I always talk to my VAs about if you're going to have a problem, have a solution, please, or come up with a solution. Don't only give me a problem, right? Give me options. So, and if you don't have options, research those options before coming to me, right? Because if you're going to tell me something is not going to work, tell me something that will work and let's discuss it together, right?
Yeah,
So
I think that a lot of people tend to think about the why. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Why doesn't it work? Why
don't
doesn't it
focus on
work?
that. Don't focus on that.
Life's too
Focus
short
on
and there's too much business to be had to not be focusing
exactly.
on a solution.
And focus on what matters the most, the solution that matters the most. If this is not working, stop it because you're wasting money. Move on to the next thing that is really going to work for you. With my database managers, the way we see results, Linda, is when they send out newsletters, we see 50, 60, 70% open rates. What does that tell you?
Measuring your success. How many people don't do that? But having this at your fingertip. Before we leave, Janki, because we're running out of time, what is the most important thing that I want you to tell our audience?
What I want to tell everyone out there is that learn how to leverage at a very early time in your business, because if you're going to run every little part of your business, you're going to get run down. That is one advice that I'll definitely give you. And another one is choose the right virtual assistant company. And how do you do that? Look, there are lots of virtual assistant companies out there, lots of choices out there for you. The way to measure the best one is see who is actually working systems, or see who has products, and see who has the right virtual team members that come from experience, not only with achievements. What I mean by that is, look, our companies are based out of realtors that grow these businesses. We're realtors. We actually have success models that we are providing to you. Our systems, our processes are from successful realtors. Ascent Virtual Assistant Company, the training that we provide is from Tristan Almada. He's one of the biggest social media guys out there. Global Solutions is from me, Janki Patel. All my systems, all my successes with CRMs, with databases, with ISAs, the phone appointments that I've seen, all my results and experiences are all right there. So choose a virtual assistant company that shares results, and all my systems are based out of results.
Wow, that takes us to just an overabundance of appreciation. First of all, I have been following Tristan Ayumada for a long time, a couple of years. And the first thing that I noticed about him was that he was just such a giver. He gave information and broke down technology to the simplest format. I would get on and look at something on YouTube and start thinking about, oh my God, it's 30 minutes. I don't have 30 minutes. He takes it down to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you now know how to do something.
Yes.
And it keeps giving. So the fact that you two have bonded and created a company such as this, I'm blown away by this, and I'm so excited to be able to share you and your information with my audience. So I want to thank you today for joining me, Janki, and
Absolutely.
Global Solutions. So thank you again.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
So as you have just heard, having a VA can change your life for the better and make your business better and faster and more profitable. And isn't that why we have a company? Why we have people working for us? We're not doing it for our health or for a hobby. We're doing it so that our business can be successful. So join me again next week when we have another exciting guest, and I'll keep you posted. Thanks again. Do you like to talk about money? If you do and you'd like to be a guest, contact me at lindakay360.com.